I am so excited to chat with my next guest. He's coming off a really big win back at UFC Fight Night on March 26th, getting it done over David Dvorak. It's Matheus Nicolau joining me here on the program for the very first time. Matheus, how are you, sir?
Hello, James. Thank you for having me. Really good after this really important victory. Now in my hometown, enjoying a little bit and get back to work soon as possible.
Yes, and we're really excited to see what's next for you. But first, let's go back to that fight against David Dvorak. What was the game plan going in? It looked like you executed it, obviously, because you got the win.
Yes. So I knew that Dvorak was a really challenging opponent. Solid game, a lot of finish, a lot of knockout and a lot of submission, especially here naked chokes. I want to spend a little bit of his energy at the beginning. I saw that he has a really strong beginning of the fight, so I want to spend his energy. I wanted to make him attack me, and so I could be able to read what was his thought, what he had in his mind for me, and that's what I did. I started defending myself a little bit more than attacking, and it was the tricky thing in that fight was that I saw that he liked to start, liked to be aggressive, and he was aggressive in his posture, but he was not really attacking me. I think man, he's a chess champion. He's a great guy. 16 victories, consecutive victories, 10 years undefeated. And I'm pretty sure that he made a game plan for me just like I did for him. He pretty sure he studied me a lot. And I think one of his game plan was to not attack me a lot. He was like pressuring me and trying to make me to start the game, start to attack him. And so we have a very close first round, and then I think was good for me to had a good reading of his game, and then in the second round I start to put my game a little bit more, and I got him with a really good hand, and I think that was the time that the victory really start to being really clear for me after that knockdown.
Absolutely. I know you had a good game plan going in. Was there anything that surprised you about him in the fight that you weren't expecting?
Yeah, I like I said, he was pressuring me, but he was not attacking really. So this was a little trick in the beginning because he was putting pressure, but he was not attacking. So and when the fans started booing, I remember I thinking about myself and I say, hey, that's a good time, booing more because that way he's gonna start to attack me so I can counter him. But he's still not doing. He was with the game plan really clear in his mind, I guess, and that was something that surprised me, that he was not that aggressive like he was in the other fights that I watched.
Yeah, for sure. How confident were you when it went to the judges' scorecards? Because you never know with the judging. How confident were you had the win?
Yeah, of course. Like you said, we never really know what goes in the judge's mind, especially in an event like with the public, with the crowd booing and stuff like that. So this can make a judgment in the judge's head as well. But I was pretty confident that I got the win, especially after the knockdown. I got really clear to finish the fight. And in the third round as well, I clipped him with some good solid hands. I think the better hand was me who clipped him. And I think the beginning of the third round until the middle of the round when he was like starting to recover and then go back to his feet, I make enough to make the round clear for me. And one thing that I could change it, if I could, I would change it. It was not finish the fight on the ground. I was like secured over there. He was not really doing some progress or attacking me with the ground and pound. He was not able to get that. But still, it's never good when you stay in the bottom, like you said, for the judges. You never know what's going in their minds. And but I think I did enough even in the ground because when I was in the ground, even in the bottom, I attacked him more. He had to defeat some leg locks and stuff like that. So I think I made enough to win for sure.
Did you know you were the betting underdog going into the fight, meaning people thought that he was going to win the fight as opposed to you? Did you know that?
Yeah, I know that. I don't really care about that, but we always know this kind of information always comes to us. Like I, all of not all of my friends, but a lot of my friends they like to doing bets and stuff like that. And he was always some guys was sending me before the fight, hey, I just bet on you, and I say. it's your own risk, man, But I
Yeah.
like to be the underdog, man. I like to be the underdog. It's easier to my friends make more money, and I like to be challenged. I like when people don't believe in me, so I have one more motivation to show them they're wrong.
Did you have any friends that won a lot of money on your fight? Because again, when you're the betting underdog, you don't have to bet that much to win a lot, right?
Yeah. Some friends made a good money, but they're just really courageous, because they put a good amount on me. So they was really believing on me and say, "You deserve your money, man, because you take a risk."
Yeah, absolutely. You've had an interesting career. I remember you got released from the UFC after just one loss, and then you had a couple fights. Now you're back in the UFC. And someone who that happened to as well was Brandon Moreno. I was curious, how inspiring was it to see Brandon in a similar situation to you get released prematurely, I think, then go on to win a UFC title? How much did that impact you?
Yeah, for sure, this was something that really motivated me and was something that I could see and believe in my path. I just saw that happen and say, hey, the same happened with me. And since the day I was shut down from the UFC, I just continued to do what I was doing every day. I wake up, training, give my best, trying to eat most healthy as possible, and I was just doing my part. And of course, seeing him to conquer what he did after having a similar history, a similar path than I had, was something that would make me believe even more in my path, and in my hustle. I was like, man, just keep doing what you're doing. The opportunity will come, and I know when the opportunity come, I will be ready.
I know you're in Rio enjoying some time off, or you're back home, I should say, enjoying some time off. When would you like to have your next fight? When would be a perfect time for you to come back and fight?
Yeah, actually, I'm in Belo Horizonte now. I live in Rio, but my hometown is Belo Horizonte. I'm here enjoy some pão de queijo. Some cheese bread is really famous here. Enjoy my mother, of course. And I'll be back to Rio tonight. And I want to be back on the gym tomorrow, and go back on my craft. And I don't have a specific date yet, but I think like 3 months, 4 months from now is the perfect date. Let's see what UFC have in mind. We didn't reach out yet, didn't talk. Like I said before in some other opportunities, I'm kind of a good company guy. I always trying to understand what they need so I can provide the better of me. The same happened with Dvorak. We were supposed to fight on February. I wanted, I was ready, but he need more time. And then Mickey came and say, hey, can we do it later on March? And say, okay, man, if is that what you have, let's do it. And the same still, The only thing that I will ask for UFC is the top five opponent. I think I deserve it with all the history, like
Mhm.
being shut down in that situation, 3 wins, only one loss, ranked guy, come back to UFC, accept all the fights they gave to me, never complain, never choose any fight, And I've been doing my job, always making weight, always on fighting and winning. So for now, I want a top five opponent. I think I deserve it, and this is what I need for my future.
What would be the most fun matchup for you to have next? You mentioned the top five. Is there a name there that you think would be a really fun fight for you?
Actually, there's not a specific name, to be honest with you. Of course, I study now. I watch all the flyweight fights. Every opponent I can see, I can have a game plan already in my mind to get the victory. Of course, after the fight is closed, we start to studying deeper and deeper. But I think that we have a lot of fights that make sense. We must need to see who is available, because I know some of the guys already booked, but to be honest with you, someone that will make sense is Askar Askarov, I guess, because we fought on the same day, so we are almost on the same timing of fighting and stuff like that. He's hunker higher than me, and this is a fight that I would like. But there's other fights that I would like to.
Of course. That was a close fight with him in France. Who did you score that fight for? Because some people felt like Askarov should have got the win.
Yeah, close fight always have different opinions, of course, but I thought that Kaikara won. Askarov had an awesome first round. He got the back. He had really good momentum there. But after that, I think Kaikara could put his game plan better. He started to defend the takedowns and he started to hit him with some good shots. So I think Kaikara won that match.
Fair enough. Someone else who's been making noise in your division just had his UFC debut, Muhammad Mokaev. What did you think of his win in his debut at UFC London, finishing Cody Durden that quickly?
He did his part, he did a good job finishing. He's a guy who coming strong. He has a good outer career. And let's see how he's gonna do with the higher opponents and stuff like that. But for sure, that kid has a bright future.
We've got the fourth fight now between Brandon Moreno and Deiveson Figueredo coming up here soon. Who do you think wins that fight? Who would you favor in the matchup?
It's a very close fight, I guess, just like all of the fights has been. The last fight was pretty close, but I thought that won, and I go with him again. So my pick for the fourth fight is Deiveson Figueiredo again. I think he has more chance to finish the fight before, even that Moreno could finish him, but I think Figueiredo have a little bit more power, and I go with him for the fourth fight.
I was curious, how many more fights do you have left on your contract? It seems like you have a few, don't you?
I have one more fight. My contract was a 8 fight contract since the Ultimate Fighter. So I just made 7 fights, 6 wins, and I have one more fight in the contract. And let's see what happens now. Maybe they will try to renegotiation before. I don't know. Let's see what's going on.
Well, you have a lot of momentum, which is good. You're coming off a nice win, so that's got to help with negotiations, which is great.
Yeah.
We've done this entire interview in English. Your English is great. Where did you learn how to speak such good English? Was it in school? Was it watching TV? How did you improve your English?
Thank you for that. To be honest, I'm not really confident in my English like
it's
that.
It's great. You've answered every question today. You're very good.
Yeah, I'm getting more and more comfortable every day, especially with the fighting word and stuff like that. I think I have more knowledge in that part to talk, and thank you for that. And yes, I learn a lot. Like in the jiu-jitsu, I have English in my school, but it was not really, really good. It was really basic, but of course, the basic help you to grow up easier and better in the future. Of course, the basic is really important, but my English was not that good. But since I started Jiu-Jitsu, my master, Caveirinha, he always said me, hey, man, you need to learn English. It will be really important for you to teach class in the United States. You really need to understand English so you can do interview and stuff like that. And all the time we have some gringo here, some guys from outside, some American or anybody from Europe. He always put me to talk with the guys in English. So that's where I start to evolving my English. And I think one thing that helped me a lot was to play video games. I love to play video games, and most of the games they are in English. Today we have like all kind of language and stuff like that in the games today, but in the past was not like that. For the PS2, it was English only. We didn't have much Portuguese, so this made me evolve my English as well. So I think I learned a lot by talking and playing video games.
That's great. And my last question, I see you're wearing the football jersey. Are you a big football fan?
Yeah, I'm a big football fan. I wanted to be a soccer player before I met Jiu-Jitsu. And when I started training Jiu-Jitsu, it's a funny thing because my father, he always wanted me to be a soccer player as well. And when I started training Jiu-Jitsu, he saw how much I was into Jiu-Jitsu, how much I fall in love for Jiu-Jitsu quickly. And I remember he asking me, hey, do you want to be a soccer player or do you want to be a MMA guy or a jiu-jitsu guy, a martial arts guy? And back in the day, I have no courage, and I didn't really know that I wanted to be a fighter. And I say, hey, I want to be a soccer, jiu-jitsu just to help me to give more confidence, more balance and stuff like that. But then when he died, I was 13. The first thing that I did was to be honest with myself. And the only thing that I did in that day was to go into jiu-jitsu. I didn't went to school. I didn't went to play soccer. The only thing that I wanted to do was jiu-jitsu. And jiu-jitsu was something really, really important in my life because it helped me in this moment of difficulty, so easy. So I had an easy pass through this momentum because of jiu-jitsu, and I love jiu-jitsu, and jiu-jitsu is the martial art who put me in there.
And you train at a Carlos Gracie school, do you know it, if I'm not mistaken? Or Carlos Gracie?
He's a Carlos Gracie Jr. Academy, but I trained with one of his students, Aldo Januário. His name is Caveirinha, which is like little school.
Okay.
and I started to train with him here in Belo Horizonte. After that, he's now living in Hawaii. He teaches there, had a lot of gyms there. And then I went to Nova União with André Pederneiras when I was 18. I already had 3 MMA pro fights back in the day with 18. I make my pro debut with 17.
That's crazy. The reason I ask is my son, who's 4 years old, he goes to a Carlos Gracie school here where I live in Canada. So it's kind of neat that you train at under the same gym, which is kind of neat. So
oh, nice. And he likes jiu-jitsu.
He likes it. He's got 2 stripes already. He just started this year, but
nice.
he's 4 years old. He's doing really well. So
really nice. I'm reading the book of Rickson Grace, which is Breath. And
of course, very interesting.
How they talk about kids and jiu-jitsu. At the beginning, jiu-jitsu is something more funny for them. And then as they go growing up, they're going to understand more and going to see more the competitive side and stuff like that. But at the beginning, it was just like that. Jiu-jitsu for me was just a funny thing. I just love it to do it, no pressure. And I think that's the way for your kid to enjoy the most of jiu-jitsu.
Matheus, thank you so much for doing this. It was great talking to you. If there's anyone you'd like to thank, any sponsors, any social media you want to plug, I'll give you the last word.
Okay, I want to thank you. First of all, thank you for having me. It was a huge honor. Love your shows. Thank my boy Saul who hooked me up here, and I want to thank all my team of Union, all my trainer. I want to a special thanks to Alex Cardoso, my boxing coach from São Paulo. I used to go travel to there to train with him a lot. I want to thank all my sponsor and special Bitwage who helped me a lot for this fight to make the best of my money. And that's it. Thank you, James. See you next time.